One of our top-line fighters is live tonight. It's the Commonwealth light welterweight champ, Eamon Magee, defending his title against Mathula of South Africa. And a night of opportunity for Plymouth's Scott Dann, the bright new hope for West Country boxing, in a first 12-rounder tonight at middleweight. Eamon Magee brings excitement and power, and it's an exotic mix so far. Great excitement as he's consolidated as the Commonwealth champion, but he wishes it to be known that there is more to come, and he certainly has aspirations in world class. Barry has followed his rise from Belfast, and it might end up at the very top. Let's remember, Magee has done well to get this far this quickly. Such a competitive division like welterweight. Effectively, you have to be a hard man to come through, and Ed Robinson has found him a hard man.
Hard man Eamon Magee has risen up from the tough Ardoyne area of Belfast to become a champion. In November, he beat Shane Neary in defence of his Commonwealth belt to prove himself Britain's #1 light welterweight in a talent-packed division. Billy Schwer's a new IBO champion. Jason Rowlands is a former undefeated WBU king. Junior Witter is Bradford's elusive switch-hitting star. But the fight the public crave is Magee against Manchester sensation Ricky Hatton. A clash that both men would relish.
None of those at all interest me at all in Britain at the minute. Because of Hatton and giving him such a build-up, I want to be the one that's been the one to take that away from him.
Two very exciting fighters, you know, big punches, so it's with him being a southpaw and me being a pressure fighter, it'll be a nice clash of styles, and I think it'll be very exciting and could be a massive fight in the not too near future.
Contrasting styles and contrasting personalities. Hatton, the gentleman warrior, and Magee, the spiteful punching, angry young man whose aggressive, taunting persona has been moulded by his hard upbringing.
He's been in the middle of a fight that has lasted 25, 30 years. From he was a child, and I think that does harden the constitution and the mental state.
Inside and outside the ring, I can fight, but I'm not a bully, and if it comes to it, I will take you apart.
Magee can't afford to look past South African challenger Mathula. Lennox Lewis made that mistake in Carnival City last month. Instead, he must punch out a challenge to Ricky's promoters.
I'm sending out a message to Sports Network more than Ricky, because I know he wants to fight. And I want to fight. Does Frank Warren want to fight? I know I'm the best, but let's see if Ricky can beat the best.
Hatton can wait. Has Magee pleased you on the way up, Barry?
Undoubtedly, he's a very talented guy. On his night, he is world class. Well, he is world class. He's now entering that level, and he's a terrific performer. And when he's on form, he is one of the best in the world.
Appears to have adopted the winning mentality, that's for sure. And already a memorable day for Magee, and many like him. This is his secret love, Liverpool FC. Shared the day with our own Adam Smith, FA Cup final day, in the comfort of the hotel, watching the big game, in the bar, but no alcohol, of course. Well, they got away with one or two things early on, didn't they? But as Magee disappeared for his rest, supposedly, just proved it that Liverpool fans just cannot stay away. And all ended happily for Liverpool. They are back. Magee is on his way. And he could yet make it a famous day.
Wonderful moment for Eamon Magee. Lifelong Liverpool fan, he must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think just with Arsenal scoring, just woke up Liverpool for the last 9 minutes, and what two fantastic goals Michael Owen scored. Just it'll wake us up for Wednesday night anyway, at least.
It's going to be a double celebration tonight with you and Mathula.
Yeah, without a doubt, but I'm certainly not going to leave it as close as Liverpool left it today. I'm hoping for a quick night's work tonight.
Very confident.
Beaten the likes of Burke and Neary, Barry. What sort of a job do you expect him to do tonight against Mathula?
Well, Mathula's a decent fighter, there's no doubt at domestic level in South Africa, but he's not in Magee's league. Magee will look to get this fight over and done with pretty quickly. He's a nasty, spiteful puncher, as we said. He's a good boxer, and if he's warmed up in the dressing room, which obviously he looks like he is, he'll get out there and try and get this job done quickly.
Barry, just a word about Mathula. He lost to a WBC top 10 rated contender, Mikhail Krivolopov in Russia only on April the 13th. Has this come too quickly tonight?
Yeah, 29 days ago. It seems like you haven't given him much time to recover. He's got home again. He's gone home again. He's got to keep in shape. He's a big guy for light welterweight, so I'm sure he's had to keep on training. And he's probably been working in the gym and sparring in the gym. So the question is, you know, has he recovered mentally and physically? We'll soon find out.
Magee gets our show live underway here tonight at the Plymouth Pavilions. One of the big local hopes, Scott Dann, the middleweight, in action later on. Commentary will come from Glenn McCrory and Ian Dark at ringside, and our MC here is John MacDonald.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring now the challenger from Vacant, South Africa, Harrison Mathula.
Well, poor old Harrison Mathula finds himself getting booed before he's even entered the arena. But he's not going to worry about that. He's 28 from a town called Vacant, which is a coal mining town 100 miles east of Johannesburg, and is where Francois Botha came from, the man who's had a few big fights, of course, at heavyweight, including the one against Lennox Lewis, and is due to fight against Vladimir Klitschko for the WBO title. Mathula, 17 wins out of 25, but he has been stopped a few times. You've got to wonder about his chin a bit.
Yes, you do. He's very tall and thin legs. He's got the range, you know, so he's going to have to try and spear Magee from long range, but you worry if Magee gets to him, you know, what will happen.
2 attempts to make the weight last night.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring the champion from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Eamon Magee.
Plenty of support here too for Eamon Magee by the look of it, at this excellent Plymouth Pavilions venue down in the West Country. Magee making his 3rd defence of the Commonwealth light welterweight title, but the interesting story about him is this £70,000 offer he was made for a British showdown with Ricky Hatton, but from his point of view, they'd have been taking the fight at 3 weeks' notice, and their camp say, look, he's no substitute, let's do the fight properly. I can understand that.
I think he did it right. You know, he didn't want to give Ricky Hatton any advantages. He wants to fight him on his own terms, and that's the right thing to do.
Tail of the tape for this fight. Bit of a puncher, Magee. Could be underrated, but he's been blown a bit hot and cold. He's a year older than Mathula. The South African is taller, has a slight reach advantage. Mathula needed 2 attempts to get inside 10 stone. Magee, no problems at all this time. Other statistics read like this. Mathula has had more fights, but at a lower level, it has to be said. He's boxed 6 more rounds, that's all. Magee with a much, much better knockout percentage. Hits hard from his southpaw stance.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome along to the Plymouth Pavilion here in the delightful city of Plymouth for tonight's championship boxing, proudly presented by Panax Promotions. Sponsored here by the Plymouth Evening Herald and Giorgio. And a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for the very best ringside seat in the business. Let's get the action underway then. 12 rounds of boxing for the Commonwealth Light Welterweight Championship. All the officials have been appointed by the Commonwealth Council in association with the British Boxing Board of Control. Our fight supervisor here, Mr. Ken Honeyball. Steward in charge, Di Corp. Matchmaker from Bristol is Mr. Chris Sanigar, and timekeeper at the bell from Bristol is Mr. Roger Bowden. Our referee in charge of the action and one of the leading referees in the world today from Wolverhampton is John Coyle. They are the officials, and here are the contestants. Firstly, the challenger. He's fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the green trunks trimmed with black and gold. He weighed in at 9 stone and 13 pounds and brings a 25-fight record. 17 wins, 11 inside the scheduled distance, and only 8 defeats. He comes from delightful Witban in the Republic of South Africa. Please welcome Mathula. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion. He's fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the green, white and gold trunks and weighed in at 9 stone, 13.5 pounds. 22 fight record, 20 wins, 16 inside the scheduled distance and only 2 defeats. He comes to the ring as the reigning Commonwealth light welterweight champion. He is making his 3rd defeat. Would you please welcome from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Eamon. Those 4 rounds and Sky rounds and 12 rounds of boxing for the Commonwealth light welterweight championship.
Second time in a row that Magee has fought here in Plymouth.
I've spoken to you both in the dressing room. Just obey the rules at all times, defend yourself at all times. Good luck to you both.
Only 4 of Magee's 20 victims so far have lasted the distance with him. But he was lucky, a lot of people thought, to get his win over Shane Neary, a controversial decision. How good is Mathula, we wonder. Let's just see. He's carrying a bit of scar tissue, I noticed last night at the weigh-in too, from a cut he had in his last fight 29 days ago against a Russian who's ranked number 5 by the WBC. Now, they say he was ahead of the fight at the time, but they say a lot of things. Magee looks as if he means business early here.
Yes, Magee already come with a good right hook coming in. Mathula making a mistake, standing with a big punch in Magee.
Whipping in these left hands, Eamon Magee with his back to the ropes. Can't afford any slip up here. That's another big one too. Mathula takes the shot though. Mathula says he's never heard of Magee, never watched a video of him. He's just going to work it out when he gets in there.
Well, that's what good fighters can do, but whether he's a good fighter, we shall see. He's landed a couple of decent shots himself, Mathula.
Trying to put some pressure on Magee early on here. Magee, the hard man from the tough Ardoyne area of West Belfast. A man with a sense of grievance, not the least because he missed selection for the Olympic Games and walked away from the sport for 2 years because of that. Making a better fist of things, though, as a profession. He probably deserved that Olympic chance as well. Good right hand from him there, thrown from an unusual angle.
Here's Mathula trying to push Magee on the back foot. How effective will Magee be like that?
And it's quite interesting that Mathula was doing quite well for 7 rounds with this top 10 ranked Russian last time out. Is he an improver? Because he reeled off 6 wins, not in very high-class company, just before that as well. Might be, you know.
Well, he's starting confidently, looking to take the fight to Magee.
Looks like he's got a bit of a chin, even though there are a few early stoppages on the record. Magee's hitting with some good shots. The time is 8:15. Eamon Magee was saying earlier on he's going to be in the pub by 9:15, having got this business finished with. Well, let's see.
Well, he is a no-nonsense sort of guy. He wants an early night.
Magee, one of those fighters who feels he hasn't had all the recognition that maybe he deserves, burning to prove himself. And he's just got to make sure that there are no mishaps in what many people would see as a routine defence, but it was a fair effort by Mathula in round 1. Welcome back to Plymouth. Eamon Magee going west, young man, trying to get his latest success here tonight. But that was a close-ish opening round, I think, Glenn.
Yes, it was very close. He maybe just got the cleaner punches through, a couple of good ones at the beginning. But Mathula looked pretty sturdy and landed a few good shots himself.
Second round. Magee with his tricolour coloured skirt, the green of the South African Harrison Mathula. He'd better hope that that right eye is all right. It just looked a bit puffy to me last night at the weigh, and the scar tissue just healing. It's a bit soon to have a fight again, but no problems so far for him. Sometimes Magee can let his work rate drop, and he can sometimes look a little bit sluggish.
Right, step back.
Nice counterpunch with the right hand from Magee. He's trying not to get so much involved, just throwing in shots and then getting away again. Tell you what, he looks up for this, doesn't he, Mathula?
Yes, he does. He looks very up for it. Concentration is good, trying to keep the centre of the ring, make Magee back away.
Two southpaws together in there. Right hand, and he's wobbled. Mathula was wobbled by that right hand, but his head seemed to clear remarkably quickly. Although, hang on a minute. He's a bit unsteady on those legs, Glenn.
Yes, I think his instinct was to come in the fight. Could be the wrong instinct. If he leaves those hands down, Magee will get him.
Needs to cover up and buy some time here, Mathula. Magee senses he can take him out here. Round two, but look at Mathula. He still wants to make an argument of it. Keep the punches up. That little break might have worked for Mathula more than Magee, who wanted to carry on reining in the punches. Mathula with 11 stoppage wins on his record in 25 fights. Not against anybody much, quite honestly with you.
Well, that was a sharp counter from Magee. Good punch. He's got to look to do that, I think. Buying his time. Another good right hand.
That one doesn't have quite the same effect as the previous one. Magee's second round. But he stayed on his feet, Mathula, through all of that, and he still wants to come forward. Maybe not punching too cleanly, but he's eager and seems to want this pretty badly. Well, it's an interesting round, Glenn.
Yes, it was a good round. Mathula having a good go at Magee, but Magee sharper punching. That was what did the trick. He's just the quicker, more accurate, really good right hook coming out of that crouch. Magee just got his full body weight behind that shot. Mathula did well to take it. Certainly steady enough chin to take a shot like that. Magee really did get all his weight behind that punch.
Later on in the round.
Choppy little left hand there. Magee looking for the big right hook again. He's keeping the pressure on Mathula.
Couldn't quite catch him cleanly, and he came out with quite a good body shot right at the end there, Mathula. Here's the third round. The Commonwealth Light Welterweight Championship is on the line here. Eamon Magee, one of several good operators we have in this division. Ricky Hatton, Billy Schwer now, both of whom hold minor world championships, and he switches stance now. Mathula leads with the left hand, trying to set a little conundrum here maybe for Magee. Back to southpaw. Mathula, who says he's never had a job. He's always been a full-time fighter. Asked him how he felt about the fight. He said, I'm like a soldier. I'm ready for armed combat in there. Well, he's been as good as his word, hasn't he?
He has. He really has come to fight. He's very up for it, giving his best in there.
And looking to nail Magee against the ropes here. I just fancy Magee may have been taken a little by surprise here with just how much dynamism Mathula is bringing to the contest early on. And now starting to use his jab quite well too.
Because he looks a pretty solid performer, Mathula, putting his shots together well there.
And this could turn into a harder night's work than maybe Eamon Magee imagined. There is the danger for him of looking past guys like this towards the likes of Ricky Hatton, Billy Schwer, maybe a rematch with Shane Erie. They're even talking about getting a world title fight with the best man in the world at this weight. Most people think so anyway, Costa Sioux. Looking for that right hand that worked well for him in the last round, Magee. But however shaken up Mathula was, he's got over it now, all right.
Yes, he has, and it must be a bit awkward for Magee facing someone as tall and as rangy. And you know, he's quite sharp and stubborn, Mathula.
Looking a bit wild, Magee. He just needs to settle into some smoother boxing. He's looking for big haymakers all the time. And Mathula's the one who's just started to box himself a bit now, just poking out the jab from time to time. This is his round so far, the South African.
Guess he's got to get a little bit closer, Magee. Again, that thrashing right hook just out of range with that.
Again, a nice sharp right-hand counter from Magee. He does like to counter-punch. But that's Mathula's round for me and for Glenn.
Caption. Shall I go with that, Chris? Live cricket for you. Sunday afternoon we have another match from the new Norwich Union League season. Surrey against Nottinghamshire. Live, Sky Sports 3, with interactive coverage available for Sky Digital viewers from 1 Sunday lunchtime. Back to Glenn and Ian here.
Magee looks as if he's having a bit of trouble with the southpaw style. He's a southpaw himself. He must have fought loads of them in his amateur days.
Yes, I'm sure he has. But it's often difficult. You know, southpaws more used to fighting orthodox fighters, and all of a sudden they get a southpaw from. Could be giving him a few problems. I think mostly the height and reach is bothering him.
Here we are in round 4. Mathula, by the way, bidding to become the first ever South African to hold this championship. Slightly surprising. And Magee is the first Irishman ever to have a hold of it as well. Might have to work for it. Well, it looks like Mathula has completed his reconnaissance mission. Had to do it on the hoof, as it were, tonight. Not seen any videos beforehand. He wouldn't have known him, Eamon Magee, from Eamon Holmes, I think, before he got here.
Well, certainly Magee knows a little bit more about Mathula now. Knows he's pretty strong, getting the centre of the ring, looking to push Magee back. Magee just finding it difficult to get his counters on.
I fancy that Magee thought he could just blow this fellow away, looked at his record, saw that he'd been stopped early a few times. Now he's having to rethink it.
Well, let's hope he doesn't pay the price for complacency. And he's worked hard in the preparation for this fight.
Has been known to happen.
More than once.
They've just learned a little extra respect for each other from those fairly furious opening exchanges. It's good work by Mathula. Combination punching, head and body, and Magee proving rather too easy to hit.
And you wonder what's going through Magee's mind now as he tries to come to terms with this fiery African.
Again, Mathula making all the running, looking bright, snappy and confident. Magee, anything but at the moment. Shock on the cards here, Glenn?
Well, it's always a possibility. He's took some of Magee's good punches, trying to get a real foothold in this fight, Mathula, and he's doing more in this round.
Magee's had the benefit of the doubt in a couple of decisions lately, and I wonder if this is going to develop into another close one. Look at that. Fight total of punches landed. Mathula 30 body shots to Magee's 1. Magee's got more head punches, but Mathula, on the computer anyway, is landing more, and that's the way it looks.
Yes, it is. He's busier. He's pushing Magee back against the ropes, and Magee just starting to look a bit puzzled by this. Not quite going the way you feel he maybe expected it.
Magee, by the way, has got an experienced team behind him. John Breen, the trainer. He's managed by Mike Callahan, who's an interesting figure as you look back at that action. He used to be the matchmaker for Jack Solomons and actually put together the undercard for Cooper Clay, and would you believe it, the fight between Sugar Ray Robinson and Randolph Turpin. He's been around a while. That was 1951. Robinson
he has
Turpin.
been around.
I mean, 50 years, isn't it?
That's right.
He's here at ringside and he might be worried. Here's the 5th round. Green trunks of this surprising South African, Harrison Mathula, who arrived here with 8 defeats on his record. He was stopped by Jerry Malinga in 5 rounds, and Malinga was blown away in 3 by Shea Neary. But I think he's an improver, this fella.
Well, he certainly looks it. He's very strong walking forward. Magee's got to start getting some clean punches off.
Worryingly for Magee at this stage, he's getting outboxed, and it might mean that he's going to need his power to get him out of jail if it goes on the way it is. But one punch from Magee could turn the whole thing on its head. Is this just a bad phase, or is this going to turn into a nightmare for Eamon Magee, just when big money fights are being mooted for him? I mean, if he was to lose this, the 70 grand they turned down, even for a late notice fight against Ricky Hatton, would start to look a pretty daft decision, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a bad mistake. But I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of fight in Magee. He's got to find out the right punch. He's got to steady up Mathula a little bit.
Not really working hard enough, Magee, at this stage.
Having a few problems with the southpaw jab, I think, of Mathula, but he's still looking to pick his shots nice with the right hand, Magee, just waiting to counter.
It's quite a nice clean puncher usually, Magee. Just lost his balance more than anything there. I think he might have trod on somebody's camera on the far side. Briefly. It doesn't look damaged. Little body shot away from Magee. He's having to think on his feet a bit here.
It's better for Magee in this round, just steadying himself up, looking to counter, pick his shots more accurately.
And if he did fight Hatton, It would be, wouldn't it? Very much in the counter-puncher's role. Hatton would be coming at him, looking for the body shots. You can almost picture the fight, can't you?
Yeah, an excellent match it would be. Good clash of styles between the two.
Yeah, but try selling it if Magee loses this. Just single shots, though, from Magee. He's obviously the harder hitter of the two, but we knew that going in. A bit wild, Mathula, but he's slapping with some of those shots. Welcome back to the Plymouth Pavilions, just down the road from the famous Plymouth O. The medical man supervising things there in the corner for Eamon Magee. I think he probably won that last round with the cleaner shots, didn't he?
Yes, I think he did. Mathula come back well last 15 seconds, but I think Magee the better work throughout the round.
Here's round 6, due to go 12, of course.
Yeah, just 1 point in it on my card. Magee winning the last round.
I've got the fight level. Wading forward, Mathula just needs to pick the punches maybe a little more carefully. He's winging away with these hooks, but a lot of them are not landing, and the referee, Mr. Coyle, has given an indication already that he thinks Mathula is slapping a bit, and that might well be reflected in the scorecards, so that's something we need to bear in mind.
Mathula still trying to push forward, just falling short with his shots there. Magee concentrating hard, looking to find the gaps in the defense.
Right.
But you couldn't call it an impressive display, this, could you, by Eamon Magee, by any stretch of the imagination, so far, anyway?
No, it's not, but then Mathula looks to be a better fighter than, you know, maybe his record or the rights about him suggested.
Again, slapping, he really was with that shot, didn't really land cleanly anyway. And a few arm punches as well, and a right hand caught him, hurt him. Just looked a bit wobbly for a moment there. Now, can Magee find the shots to end this argument? The scar tissue by the right eye has held up well. Magee now just picking these punches quite cleverly. Like to see him throw a few more combinations, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think it's difficult with such a tall opponent to get his combinations off. He's finding, you know, the best way is just waiting and trying to get the counter on.
Magee, who had a really tough upbringing around the Ardoin. At one point, he was stabbed in the neck in an argument over a cigarette.
Right.
Had to do running repairs himself. It's I think he's really been a fighter almost from the minute he was born, one way and another.
Yes, it's a tough old upbringing. He's doing a lot for himself now with his fighting inside the ring.
Last few seconds of round 6. Just become a little wild with some of his work, Mathula, over the last couple of rounds. Things have quietened down a bit, but there's still plenty of work to do here for Eamon Magee in defence of this Commonwealth crown he holds. Let's get a different take on it now. Robert McCracken, former world middleweight title contender, he's with Adam Smith.
Well, Robert Eamon's having success with the single right-hand shots, but he's fiery, this Mathula, isn't he?
No, he's a very good opponent. He's a very difficult opponent. I've got Eamon ahead, but this Mathula's coming to fight, and it's a difficult assignment for Eamon. If he just picks his spots like he's doing, he'll run out a winner, but it's a hard night's work.
He thought it would be easy, maybe, on paper, but he's got to up his work rate, hasn't he?
I think he's trying to pick his spots, you know. He's trying to calm Mathula down a little bit, but yeah, he has got to up his work rate. Got him ahead, but he's down the stretch now, so he's got to up the work rate.
Has he got the power to stop things? He may need to.
I think he's got the power if he can catch him with another good shot, but it's a tough fella, this Mathula.
Intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, very much.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Adam and Robert. Mathula's landed more punches so far, but I think that there's a bit of a lie in there, because I think Magee's have been the better shots, haven't they?
Yes, and I think a few of Mathula's have been with the inside of the glove as well. Slaps.
I duffed up the adding on my scorecard at the end of the last round. I have Magee ahead by 2.
Your maths is difficult over 5 rounds.
Yeah, what other O levels did I fail? That's a good shot. He's hurt. Mathula. Could be a stoppage coming up here. He goes down, and he'll have to take a count here. And he's not going to be able to go on, I'm sure. He's shaking his head, looks very dizzy, he's out of it, and John Coyle quite rightly says no more, and Eamon Magee gets the job done in the end. He's not going to be in the pub for 8:45, but he's got the job finished by nearly 22.
Yes, he got the job done in the end. It was a nice counter-punching that did it. Mathula fell apart all at once after looking so strong early on in the fight. But he used his head. I thought it was good concentration from Eamon Magee. He thought about it on his feet, had to change tactics a little bit during the fight, and then pulled out the punches that mattered.
Uncomfortable moments for Eamon Magee, but once again you've got to say that he's gone and finished the job, and he does have good power. And I'd like to see him maybe in a rematch with Neary, because there was so much controversy over the first fight, though it wasn't a good one, against Ricky Hatton, Billy Schwer. Good fights. He's won here in round 7.
Yes, he just changed tactics a little bit, picked the punches. Mathula just fell apart there with a couple of good hooks around the side of the head. He really was all over the place.
Yes, there wasn't much sign that this was about to happen.
No, and just 2 good hooks on the side of the head. Just really dazed him, shook him up there, and it fell apart.
And John Coyle, a very experienced referee from Wolverhampton, took one look at him and said no more of that, and Mathula did not protest. It was one of the easiest decisions he'll ever have to take in his career, John Coyle.
Yes, he wasn't going to get back on. He was shaking his head. It's always a sign a fight is finished.
He said, look, hold your gloves up, and Mathula didn't understand, wasn't getting the message, and he had to be stopped. Still the Commonwealth champion, but really now wants to go hunting a major world championship fight. Is he good enough? Well, you be the judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper Roger Belden has recorded a time of 32 seconds of the 7th round. Referee John Coyle has stopped the contest. Mathula in no position to continue. Your winner, and he's still the Commonwealth light welterweight champion from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Eamon Magee. And show your appreciation for our visitor, Mathula.
More from Magee in a moment, but lots still to come here tonight in Plymouth. The big local hope, Scott Dann, in action at middleweight. His first 12-rounder tonight against another South African, Elvis Adonisi, and also the young light welterweight hope, Leo O'Reilly, won his first 7 pro fights before tonight against David White here. Those two still to come. Eamon Magee started the day by sharing Liverpool's FA Cup win with Adam Smith. Now they've got another reason to celebrate. But how does he view that performance?
Eamon, congratulations. You retain your Commonwealth title for the 3rd time. Bit surprising at the end, the way it suddenly finished?
Well, you can see the guy still just getting off his stool now. He was pretty hurt. I knew from the very start, I'm sure all the viewers knew from the start, that it was better power than him. It was just a little bit awkward to get at. Taller, rangy southpaw.
He was fiery, wasn't he? He came to win this.
He came to win, yeah. But
Come on, Eamon. We love him, mate.
But he was coming. He wasn't throwing any straight punches. He was throwing all big loopy slaps and hooks. You know, which are awkward when you're getting hit round the top of the head with him and round the back of the head. But can't take nothing away from him. Most South Africans don't travel well, but he seemed to travel okay.
You were catching him with single right shots, but you needed to put some combinations together, like the finish.
No, but see, the single shots were the shots that were doing the most damage. And I was picking him. I mean, that's okay. He can work away and do all the slapping he wants, as long as I'm hitting him with the correct punches.
The big question is, when are you fighting Ricky Hatton? You said you turned down 70,000 not to fight him last time. Why didn't you take that if you think you can beat him?
I think it's a very big fight for the British public out there at the minute. It's like a Eubank Ben fight. Just under 3 weeks' notice. I mean, it wasn't fair even on you guys for the TV to give us the exposure that this fight really needs. I know Ricky is very keen for the fight, and I'm very keen for the fight. But the answer is Sports Network and Frank Warren very keen for the fight. And if he is keen for the fight, instead of relying back to the reporters back in Belfast to give us messages, why doesn't he contact my manager, Mick Callahan? And in case he hasn't got his number, it's a Belfast number on 028 90 50 6667, and you can get him 24 hours a day. And
it's up to them now.
Let's get serious about the game. It's the one that everybody wants to see, and he knows it.
Well, it's been a great day for you. A Liverpool success, a win here. Down the pub now?
Yeah, but it took Liverpool a little bit longer to waken up with just 9 minutes to go. Thank God for Owen, our strike force again. I'd like to dedicate this fight to the guy that's down with cancer, and hopefully he can fight on for as long as he can. It's my manager's brother-in-law, Jim McDonald. Keep on fighting. Jim Donnelly, sorry. Keep on fighting, big lad.
Well done, Eamon, tonight, and let's hope you get in the ring with Ricky Hatton very soon.
Thank you very much.
Ricky Hatton may have been watching that tonight. Barry, what would he have thought of that performance by Magee?
Well, his punching performance was excellent. I mean, he can bang, and at times he looks a little languid and looks like he loses concentration, but he's got the old equaliser, and when he gets his punches off, he's obviously devastating, and he done exactly the right thing. At the beginning it started out like a good fight, and Mathula looked like a tough, awkward opponent, and he was fighting on equal terms. And Magee, again, all the way through this, was looking like he was landing the more telling punches, and he was the more damaging.
What about his general work, though, Barry? Was this of the standard he would need in a fight against Hatton?
Well, each fight is different, and he's using a different set of tactics on each occasion. But when he punches and when he hits the target area, he can shake these boys to their boots. He was hit a few times, and Mathula showed grit and determination and showed that he came over here to win. Are you telling us that Magee was always in control of this job? I think he was in control. It was just a matter of getting over that sort of getting through those awkward punches from Mathula. He wasn't a great puncher, Mathula. He was awkward and throwing around, slapping awkward punches. And when Magee did get through, he was hit several times with good shots, and he took them and absorbed them without too much trouble. But when he got through himself, he done real damage, and he had Mathula at 6s and 7s. We didn't really get a good look at that punch. It was a down left hand, hit him right on the butt of the ear, and he really never recovered from that. We see it better from here. That's the first shot that done it, and he finished it off with a nice little hooking shot as well. So he's a hard, solid puncher. He's going to have to perform better than this if he's to beat someone like Ricky Hatton, but he's got the punch.
Barry, let's take a little look as we close out the show here with Mathula at the fight stats tonight. And again, sorry to labour the point, but I want to press you. If he fights at this pace in a big fight and is as busy as he has been in this fight tonight, could he be in trouble?
Of course he could. I mean, what will beat Magee is pressure. Magee doesn't like pressure.
He's thrown half the shots that Mathula's thrown.
Yes, but what the computer doesn't measure is the power of the punches, and they really are insignificant when we see the end result, because Magee has got the old equaliser, he's got the power. When he hits these guys, he can take them out, and that's what counts.
Lots still to come here tonight. We have Scott Dann, the young hope in these parts, and certainly, as Ed Robinson found out, the big ticket seller. He's next in the ring at middleweight, and Ed tells us more about him now.
Tonight, local hero Scott Dann has been granted an opportunity to showcase his talent in his hometown of Plymouth. with an IBO Inter-Continental Middleweight clash against South African Elvis Adonisi. And the popular Dann has become the talk of the town in the lead up to this big chance.
They've really got behind me now, the Plymouth public, with this. We had such a lot of advertisement with the Plymouth Herald, and getting, they're right behind me, and I do love fighting in Plymouth. I suppose every fighter loves fighting in front of the home crowd, but the Plymouth fans are good, and it gives you such a boost. It's brilliant.
And Scott's not just a massive local ticket seller. Undefeated in 11 fights with 8 knockouts, the former amateur star has been very impressive so far and is tipped for the top.
It's a tremendous prospect. Naturally, we haven't got, got to keep our feet on the floor, and let his results do the talking. We need to bring him along, steadily, but I foresee him going all the way.
Scott set the crowd alight the last time that he boxed at the Plymouth Pavilions, delighting his army of fans with a ruthless destruction of Bromley's Jason Hart. But tonight is set to surpass that, and the Dann supporters can't wait to cheer on their hometown hopeful.
Scott Dann, he'll knock him out.
Everybody here supporting Dan, and he's going to do it, the Dan clan.
He's the local lad and he's going to win.
Scott Dann, mate, he's brilliant. Can't wait. Hopefully knock him out, 2 rounds, ideal.
Yeah, all goes well. We'll have a party afterwards. Nothing's really been arranged yet. I don't want to just be overconfident and say, right, we're having a party on it. But once I've got the title in my hands, yeah, we'll be partying all night.
He's big news in these parts. He was on the back page spread across the local newspaper the last couple of days. They're so desperate for success in these parts to find a fighter to get behind here in Plymouth, and they're here for Dan tonight, or at least we think that's the case. Or is it because it could be the first sighting of Elvis in Plymouth? We'll find out next. Another superb lineup of football for you on Sunday. 4 live games in all, starting from midday. The FA Umbro Trophy final, Canvey Island against Forest Green Rovers. 2:30, the First Division playoff semi-final first leg, Birmingham City against Preston. At 6, action from the Scottish Premier League. It's the Edinburgh Derby, Hibernian against Hearts. And from 7, in Spain, Real Madrid against Espanyol. So 4 matches for you on Sunday. Action from England, Scotland and Spain, all live only on Sky Sports. A great choice of football for you Sunday. Elvis is in the building. In fact, he's in the ring. Elvis Adonisi, the South African middleweight, and he is the opponent tonight for Plymouth's biggest hope in years, Scott Dann. He's on the way out now. Let's rejoin John MacDonald.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring now from Plymouth, Scott Dynamite Dann!
Well, it's a bit of a happening here. Scott Dann has had 11 fights and 11 wins, and they're getting very excited about him already in Plymouth. They even had a competition in the Plymouth Evening Herald, the local paper here, to find a nickname for him, and they've come up with Dynamite. That's okay. He's a bit of a puncher. 8 stoppages already, and he's sold 600 tickets on his own for these Plymouth Pavilions. So it could be quite a good local story they're building up around here, Glenn.
Yes, it could be, and hopefully it should be. I mean, certainly he's a very popular young man. The fans really loving this. It's a big happening, and that's all being carried on. He's doing well. 11 wins and 11 fights, so he's going the right way.
There he is, the exciting Plymouth southpaw, Scott Dann, and you heard all those rich Devonian accents beforehand telling you just how highly they rate him around here. He's a pleasant young fellow as well. He was a self-employed builder until a couple of months ago. He's given that up, and he says he's going to give it a real good crack to make it to the top in boxing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Panax Promotions proudly present 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBO Inter-Continental Middleweight Championship. Sponsored here by the Plymouth Evening Herald and Giorgio, and live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for this packed arena for the very best ringside seat in the business. All the officials have been appointed by the IBO President Ed Levine of Coral Gables, Florida. He has appointed fight supervisor Charles Payne of Hand Common. Matchmaker is Mr. Chris Sanagar of Bristol, and timekeeper from the British Boxing Board of Control, Roger Bowden. Our 3 scoring judges here at ringside: from Wolverhampton, John Coyle; from Kent, Roy Francis; and from Birmingham, Terry O'Connor. Our referee in charge of the action, and one of the leading referees in the world today, from Derby, Paul Thomas. They are all the officials, and here are the contestants. Firstly, our visitor, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks trimmed with red and weighed in at 11 stone 5 pounds. Bringing a 28-fight record, 16 wins, 1 inside the scheduled distance, 7 losses and 5 draws. He's from Johannesburg in South Africa, where he is known as Elvis Adonisi. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the famous purple trunks of the Bristol Boys Gym. He weighed in at 11 stone 3.5 pounds. He's undefeated in 11 contests, 11 wins, 8 inside the scheduled distance. Please welcome Plymouth's #1 son, Scott Dynamite Dann. Well, sports fans and Sky fans, let's get the action underway then. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBO Inter-Continental Middleweight Championship.
Great noise around here, you can hardly hear yourself think. Such is the support for the local boy, Scott Dann.
Spoke to you both in the dressing room, you know what I expect of you, okay? Remember to obey my instructions all through this contest. Touch gloves, best of luck to both of you.
This is first step into international class tonight. Comes from the St. Jude's area of the city. And in with Elvis Adonisi, who came into all shook up by the king himself tonight. Bit worrying because one of the lines is I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. So let's see what happens here. Adonisi in the white trunks from Johannesburg. Calls himself the golden boy. And Dan, who hits pretty hard. This could be a story to follow, but he has to get things all right on the night here. Body shots already from Dan. Good shots too. Near hysteria from the crowd, even in the opening minute.
Well, he's very strong, Dan. Hard puncher, boxing out that southpaw stance. Putting in some good body punches with the left hand.
Adonisi, 16 wins, 7 defeats, 5 draws. And some very good shots here from Scott Dann. He was the first ever ABA champion from Plymouth in 110 years. And they haven't had a world champion from this city since Joe Simons back around the time of the First World War, 85 years ago. That was at flyweight. He lost the title to Jimmy Wilde. Good pressure early on here from Dan.
It's just he's got to be careful, didn't crowd his own work. Adonisi not doing much or showing much.
Rangy, leading with the right hand. Adonisi. It's all Dan in this opening round. Adonisi's got the reputation of being slick and durable. He's got a couple of wins over a stablemate of Dan's, Darren Dorrington. But they couldn't find the videos of those. Dorrington's gone AWOL for the moment. Nobody can find him, so they couldn't see the film. Very little from Adonisi early on here. And that's not a knockdown, not an authentic one anyway. No count.
Adonisi looks an awkward type for Dan to get clean punches onto.
He's a switch hitter, Adonisi. You saw him turn around and go southpaw for a minute. He's back to orthodox now. And these body punches here from Dan, putting him under quite severe pressure. Might be a bit of ring rust for the South African too. He might have to take a count. Only the ropes kept him up there. He does have to take a count, and I think that's fair enough from referee Paul Thomas. Really good news early on here for Scott Dann. Might he even do it in one round?
The crowd would love it if he could get a one-round win.
Very little from Adonisi, who does get through the 3 minutes, but with very little to spare. Look at the number of punches landed in the first round. 28-0. Have we ever had a 0 before?
I don't think we have. Well, it was good work from Dan, but he didn't have nothing coming back at him. Adonisi not throwing anything. Dan could just walk in, let the punches go. The punches were good. Lots of body punches going in throughout the round. And I think they certainly weakened Adonisi an awful lot.
Elvis really was all shook up, wasn't he?
He was, wasn't he?
Not overplaying this Elvis angle at all, are we?
No, you've just started. I'm waiting for a few more.
You just got a suspicious mind about it.
It was good work. Still not getting his shots on that cleanly, but he just kept throwing strong punches as much as he could till Adonisi just slumped down.
Adonisi, who's a British Airways customer service agent at Johannesburg Airport. He came over business class. I tell you what, he's out of the comfort zone now, isn't he? Dan bundles him up against the ropes. He normally likes to counter-punch, Scott Dann was telling me, but here he's come forward to good effect, and he's got him again with a left hand, and he did very well to stay upright. I think the ropes kept him upright again there, you know.
Yes, they did. He'd be struggling to counter-punch with Adonisi not throwing a punch.
He's looking slow, Adonisi, too. In fact, he's resembling one of those rabbits frozen in the headlights. He knows he's a long way from home here. I think his balance as well. Victory might be imminent for Scott Dann here.
Yes, normally when fighters are past their best, the balance is the first thing that goes. Adonisi's balance is terrible.
And not much movement from him. We were told he was quite slick. He doesn't look slick early. Dan's hunting him down. One of those Inter-Continental belts on the line here. But more important than that, it's a stepping stone forward for Scott Dann. He'll soon be hunting down a shot at the British Championship, currently held by the excellent Howard Eastman. But I would reckon that Eastman will have bigger fish to fry and might be giving that up quite soon.
Well, I was thinking that Adonisi's balance is bad, but I think also he's got a problem with the feet on the canvas. He's slipping around an awful lot.
The punches he's taking aren't helping now, though, are they?
No, they're not making things any easier.
Doubling up on the jab quite nicely, Scott Dann, and looking confident, as you'd expect from a young fighter on the way up with 11 straight wins on his record. That could be soon turning to 12 the way this is going early. Again looking for the body shot, and then a nice left uppercut on the inside from Dan too. So far from Adonisi, nothing.
Yes, Adonisi keen to hang on inside, wrestling Dan about. Dan needs to get his hands out and find some clean punches.
Taking his time, he's well schooled in the amateurs, Dan. It's good we're starting to produce some middleweights again. It's a thoroughly uncomfortable night for Adonisi, all Scott Dann. come in too many fighters from the West Country. We mentioned world champion Joe Simons. Remember, Len Harvey was from Cornwall, who through his life fought in just about every weight division. Wonderful fighter.
Yes, good left hand there. Just measuring up with the southpaw. Jab trying to get the range and off balance again. Adonisi.
It's really good to see this and be around this. A fighter really stirring up a hornet's nest of interest in his home city. They're hungry for success here on the boxing front, and they really got behind him, including the local paper, the Evening Herald. All Dan has to do is keep winning. He's nicely controlled about it. He's not rushing his work, is he?
No, he's taking his time, just picking the shots well. Working behind that jab, as you see, and he was a decent amateur. And you can see he's got a bit of boxing skill.
Plenty of power as well. When he won the ABA Championship, he stopped all but one of his opponents along the way. Just clean it up a bit, I think, is the gist of the message here from referee Paul Thomas to both of them.
Yes, he wants him to break cleanly as well. They're still hitting on the break.
Dan has benefited from sparring with Glenn Catley, former world champion at super middleweight, and soon to get another chance. Again, good body shots, right hands to the body. He's doing what he wants with this fellow. There's just no movement or speed about Adonisi. I thought he'd bring that to the party here, but it's so one-sided, it's almost embarrassing.
Yes, he's doing everything he wants, Dan. Getting all the shots on, the jabs working, the punches inside.
It really does feel like the proverbial lion's den in here. It's not going to be an easy place to come for any of Dan's opponents. But he's going to have to fight better ones than this along the way, that's for certain.
Yes, he is so far. Very timid performance from Adonisi. Nothing really coming back from him.
Dan just has to make certain he doesn't get careless in any way.
Just that's the danger when there's very little coming from Adonisi. All of a sudden he brings a surprise out there. Certainly nothing showing just yet.
Dan, who's handled by Chris Sanigar and the local man down here, Nigel Christian. It's good that he's got a really good fighter, because he has to handle a few journeymen as well along the way.
Well, it's good to see success in boxing come to different areas.
You'd have to say it so far. Adonisi looks pretty hapless.
It's can't do anything at the moment, really does look petrified in there.
It's good solid jabbing by Dan, following it in with body shots when he can.
No shots, break clean.
It's another round for Scott Dan. Let's have a look at interesting statistics so far. Body shots landed, 26-3 in Dan's favour.
Nothing from Adonisi. Really looks completely out of his depth.
This is Adonisi's first fight in 8 months, and I don't think you can put his performance solely down to ring rust. I mean, he looks, he's only 26, but he looks an old fighter in there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Balance is poor, really trying to grip the canvas. You're all over the place, showed nothing yet.
So Scott Dan in his purple trunks continuing to dominate. But the question will begin to arise, I think, that he has to stop this fellow, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I mean, really, nothing coming from Adonisi. So, you know, there's nothing to stop Dan just walking in there, keep throwing shots at him. And, you know, the longer it goes, it's good at the minute for Dan, but the longer it goes, it could take away from his performance if he doesn't get rid of him.
Don't think it totally suits Dan that he has to be the one coming forward, making the fight all the time. I think he'd prefer it if he could counter-punch a bit himself. Adonisi is coming off a defeat against Ruben Groenewald, a London-based South African who lost to Delroy Leslie, one of our other top 10 middleweights. That was at Carnival City, now a world-famous venue after what Hasim Rockman did there to Lennox Lewis. Out of range with the jab, Adonisi, and looking, well, tentative would be a kind word.
Let go! Come on now. 2 drop inside, man. Break it up.
Well, Adonisi trying to do a bit more, trying at least to get a few jabs off. That should suit Dan more with his counter-punching style.
Pushes Adonisi back against the ropes, showing the superior strength. Adonisi, by the way, has only 1 stoppage win on his entire record, and that was when Darren Dorrington retired after the 11th round, and he had a bad cut at the time. So he's a light hitter. So could Dan just walk through him?
Yes, you'd think so. That's what he should be trying to do. He's, for me, just showing him a little bit too much respect. Bearing in mind, Adonisi's hardly thrown anything.
Good ramrod jab from Scott Dan, who's just keeping his concentration, going about his job and trying to deliver the win that these hundreds and hundreds of Plymouth fans have come to these pavilions tonight to see. We'll probably get about 4 pages in the evening paper on Monday over this, and that's good for boxing.
He just needs to keep this work going, just up the tempo a bit, Dan.
It's nice boxing from him, and Adonisi hasn't won a thing so far, and Dan's won everything. Well, look at that. Dan has landed more than 10 times as many punches, and 413 years ago, I think the Spanish Armada made a better fist of things, didn't they, than his fellow Adonisi did around here.
I think they did. I mean, he's thrown nothing. So Dan has got to start pressing on, stand over him, start letting the shots go.
He's been out of range when he's even thrown his jab. Adonisi is a massive disappointment, it has to be said. Not a disappointment to Dan, I doubt. He'd be quite happy about it. You impressed with this Scott Dan? What do you think, Glenn?
Yes, he's doing all right. You know, he could pick it up a little bit for me now. You know, just when he was careful for the first couple of rounds, which was sensible to see what Adonisi had. Now you've seen he's got nothing. It's really down to start, you know, taking him apart and get him out of there.
It would round off the performance nicely if he could do that in the next 2 or 3 rounds. It's always interesting with prospects who are punchers to see whether they retain that power when they're moved up in class. I don't think he's really being moved up that much in class tonight, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think he has. I think that, you know, the most difficult thing about that is he's a bit awkward. Hard for Dan to get the clean punches on because he's in this crouch.
Just maybe needs to up the tempo a little, Dan here. Start to bring in one or two combinations, but he's pretty accurate and looks quite well schooled. He actually, when he was a boy in a national schools final, he fought Nassim Hamed, you know. Lost on points to him.
This has been around a while, good amateur, Dan.
But he's put on 2.5 stone since then, and Hamed stayed about the same weight. That's a nice shot, that left hand, twice from Dan. He really snapped that in. Oh, and another big shot, left cross. Now he's looking to do a number on him. Body punches as well. Can Dan finish the argument here? It'll be mighty impressive if he can. Adonisi, give credit to him for this. He shows plenty of courage to stay in there. But he's starting to bring the heavier weaponry in now, this Scott Dann. I think he senses this is the time, Glenn.
Yes, this is good work from Dan. Some nice right, left through the middle, just set Adonisi up, and now he's putting the pressure on. It's what the crowds want to see.
Real racket around here, people stomping their feet. It's good, Ben. You've got a little right-hand counter there from Adonisi. I think that was probably his best shot of the contest, but back comes down again with the left uppercut. He's a bit of a pea-shooter puncher, though, Adonisi. His whole record shouts at that. We thought, though, that he'd be a right neat boxer, but he hasn't been, has he?
Not at all. Really, he hasn't shown anything, has he, Adonisi?
Well, he's a family man. His girlfriend Sonia Mackenzie's here tonight, and they've got 2 children, Amelia, age 5, and Scott, 3. Bit young to realise that Dad's a pro fighter.
That was the best shot of the night.
And there's that left hook. That was a really good shot. Then the uppercut kept the pressure on, going for the stoppage here. Dan, just difficult to find the clean shots against Adonisi. But you feel he's getting closer to this stoppage.
I thought it was going to happen in this round for him for a while there, but Adonisi showed plenty of guts to see through the crisis. Sixth round. Scott Dann in the purple trunks on the right of the picture as you look at them. The Plymouth boxing hero. From the Nigel Christian Chris Sanagar team. Adonisi, by the way, is trained by Harold Volbrecht, the old world welterweight title contender who nearly fought Lloyd Hannigan. Fight fell through because of a apartheid row. He's unsteady on his feet, Adonisi.
He has been throughout the whole contest. Balance is bad.
Dan getting the benefit too of the extra training he's able to fit in now that boxing is his full-time job. Problems in the past with back injuries. He apparently slipped on a rock on the moors on a training run. And that's caused recurring problems which happily have disappeared for the moment. And it's one of those little hoardings on the far side crept into the ring. Dan nearly slipped on that. It's about his biggest problem so far.
It is. It's good he uses the jab so well. You can see the amateur teaching coming out there. Nice crisp jab, just softening Adonisi up. And he looks for the left hand.
There's still something of the amateur style about him. And he's caught with the right hand there. Good shot through the middle. Classic shot against the southpaw from Adonisi.
Yeah, sometimes a bit upright. He needs to adopt a bit of head movement as he moves up in class.
Yeah, maybe just roll from the waist a bit more as well.
Yeah, a little bit. Roll the shoulders, move the head a bit. That's something he's got to try and do. It's not as if he's had to do it that much, because there hasn't been that many shots thrown his way.
Stopped Jason Harding a couple of rounds in his last fight here, and it was Bedlam that night as well. And beat Anthony Ivory, the Chicago journeyman who shocked Neville Brown a few years back. With a pretty geriatric Ivory, it has to be said. Well, about a round ago, Dan looked as if he was really trying to up the tempo and get the job finished. Now he's just gone back to looking to outbox his man.
Guess he seems a careful sword gut go with a okay right hand, and just content to box now.
Just a bit disorganised on the far side, not really caught by anything, Elvis Adonisi. But Dan piling up the points, he's way clear. Let's go to Robert McCracken now. It's with Adam Smith.
It's all rather easy for Scott Dann, this, isn't it? Elvis Adonisi hasn't brought anything to the table.
Yeah, I spoke to Scott before he came out, and I think he's a little bit nervous about the 12 rounds. But Adonisi, he's hanging in there, but he hasn't got a great deal to offer, just bravery. I think if Scott stepped on him, I think he could get him out of there.
Is he showing him too much respect? Should he have just upped the tempo and finished him by now?
Well, he is a slippery customer, although he's not offering much. So it's difficult to say for Scott. It's his first 12 rounder, but he should really jump on him now and put his shots together.
The Plymouth fans love him. Are you impressed?
Listen, he's learning. He's got a lot of ability and he's learning. So it's a real good learning experience for him. Make him a better fighter.
Thanks a lot, Robert.
Well, we've had 6 rounds, and that little stat you saw flash on the screen shows that Adonisi has landed precisely 15 punches.
Which is dreadful, isn't it, really? We've never... we can't remember the last time we saw stats like that.
It was less than 1 a minute.
Well, he's showing absolutely nothing, Adonisi, and really now's the time that Dan has got to up the work rate. He's got to be a little more forceful. He's got to try and get him out of here now. Everything on my card, Dan. Adonisi, can't win anything.
Yeah, he must have won every round on every card. 3 judges, experienced ones too, scoring it. Referees John Coyle, Roy France is now retired as a referee, and Terry O'Connor, they're doing the scoring. It's been easy for them to score so far because it's all been Scott Dann. Now, can Adonisi bring anything at all to the party in this second half of the fight? For these young prospects, because they've not only got to win, but to keep the interest going, they've got to continue to look hot, haven't they, too?
Yes, they do. He's getting one for a very low blow there, Adonisi. John Stern talking to from Paul Thomas. Yes, I think that the public want him to look good. I mean, he's got his home fans behind him. They're just happy with everything. But, people watching will want to see a good, exciting performance.
And that was a good, exciting punch. Left uppercut from Elvis Adonisi. From Dan, I should say. It was Adonisi who had to take it. Turns his back almost. Bundled out of position more than anything, Adonisi. Dan looks quite a fair technician, but he's a technician with a bit of power too, so that's not a bad combination.
Yes, that's a very good combination. I think as he moves on, gets experience, that will serve him well. Taking his shots nice there, the right and left hooks.
He's looking for the combinations now. Is Adonisi ready to be taken? He's getting those gloves up. And he's stuck his head there into Dan's face a bit. Don't do that, says referee Paul Thomas. What he mustn't become down here is frustrated. Having all these fans here brings a kind of pressure of its own, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Pressure to excite. You don't know whether to commit yourself too much or whether to be safe.
quite out of the ring here by the look of it. Adonisi was almost down with the press photographers. I think they nearly took one of those. He's going to get 2 points off. A deliberate foul by Adonisi and a 2-point deduction. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. He just grabbed Dan over the ropes and started hitting him.
Assign it, and now he's down this time, caught by a left hand, bundled against the ropes, and Dan nails him in round 7. Is Adonisi going to get up? I don't think he is. He's counted out, and Scott Dann has his first title and delivers exactly what this big Plymouth crowd wanted. That's what they bought the tickets for. There's his girlfriend Sonia in the ring giving him a big cuddle. And the local boy has produced the fire and power to give Plymouth a famous night, and there might be a few more to come for him. He's pretty good.
Yes, he did what he had to do, picked the shots right at the end, got a good win there. Adonisi just mystified at the end, just sat on the counter. There's no attempt to get up.
Sonia's nearly in tears of emotion over on the far side. Dan salutes the crowd. He said in the paper tonight, "I'll rock Elvis." We did in the end.
Yes, he did. And really, I think the frustration from Adonisi not being able to do anything with Dan, then he started to foul.
Well, he's been boxing since he was 11 years old, Scott Dann. This will be a sweet moment. It may not be a big title in the wider world of boxing, but it'll mean a lot to him.
It's almost thrown over the top rope there, and he just trundles down.
I think we have to say Adonisi was a disappointment. Frankly, he was pretty hopeless, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Didn't have anything there, just holds his hands, but made no attempt to get up.
Which is to take nothing away from Scott Dann's performance. Look how rough and ready he was too. He can mix it as well.
He looks physically strong, in good condition, and he gets his win.
12 out of 12, and now 9 inside the schedule for Scott Dynamite Dann, as we now have to call him.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 7, on a count-out, your winner and the new IBO Intercontinental Middleweight Champion from Plymouth, Scott Dynamite Dann. And show your appreciation of very game challenger, Elvis Adonisi. And now to present the coveted IBO Intercontinental belt, our fight supervisor, Mr. Charles Payne.
12 straight wins now for Dan. Let's, for the moment, leave this belt that was at stake tonight to one side and look at the crowd instead. He sells tickets, they're getting behind him here, and in the long run, that surely will be more important. Still to come, more action here. The young light welterweight prospect Leo O'Reilly looking to make it 8 straight wins up against David White. So more action to come. But first, Dan takes his bows, and Adam is waiting to speak to him.
Stepping stone completed. Maybe a minor title, but I'm sure it means a great deal for you. It was all rather easy in there, wasn't it?
Well, thank you, baby. Thank you very much, as Elvis would have said. He annoyed me a bit then by hitting me on the ropes. You know, he had me all over there, and then I decided, right, it's time to take him out. And I wanted to box, like they said, get a few rounds on your belt, so I did take it easy and really hold him up a little bit.
He didn't have a lot to offer at all, did he?
No, I found him very easy to hit from the first bout, and the only damage I got was from Ed's. He headbutted me on the nose and my lip, and he hardly hit me at all. I thought he hit me about 4 or 5 times all the way through the fight.
With all this wonderful support here, was there a lot of pressure on you tonight to get that stoppage?
Not at all, because you must have noticed from my last fight, I calmed down a hell of a lot. You know, I never rushed in, I never got caught with silly shots going forward, I never played to the crowd. You know, the only time I did play to the crowd is when he decided to pin me on the ropes and try and give me a few duffings on the ropes. And then I got a bit annoyed and went for it.
Well, they're all very happy. Why are you so popular?
Because they know I'm going to be the future world champion. I think that's why.
You really believe that, and you can bring it to Plymouth?
I mean, we've done this here, I've just done that there, and I haven't had hardly any sparring at all. My own fault, not Chris's at all, my fault. We've done a few bits, but not as much as we should have. And just through other commitments, really. But that there was easy enough.
Well done tonight. We hope to see you back here again soon. Thanks a lot.
Honesty and a little bit of personality, it could become a winning mix. Barry's verdict on that performance by Dann shortly, and more action still to come here tonight. Leo O'Reilly, big things expected of him at light welterweight.